What is going on, guys? Matt O'Leary here with another video. Today I want to get into a story that I've seen that is starting to get me a little bit nervous, and I think it's easy to understand why it's starting to get me and other Jet fans a little bit nervous. It's about the New York Jets locker room and the state of the locker room, and it's not just coming from one reporter who has a vendetta. So, and if you kind of just, I don't know, follow the obvious here, it kind of makes sense why the Jets locker room could be in a bad spot. So let's talk about it. Apparently, the defense is upset with Zach Wilson being the starting quarterback. According to Rich Cimini, which I get it, it's Rich, but more on on other reports in this video coming up in a little bit. But Rich Cimini's talking about Robert Saleh's comments about Zach Wilson and how much he stands by Zach Wilson, and he says Saleh is coming off as a Zach apologist, and that doesn't play well in the locker room. The defense in particular is not happy. The defense knows that if any other player were performing his job the way Wilson is performing his, that player would be benched. Trust me, there's tension in that locker room. I get the sense from what I've seen on the sideline and from what I'm hearing that the team could be ready to implode on offense too. I mean, again, this is a carbon copy of what we saw in 2022. We began to see just how bad it got. And I really think a big thing that happened last year was Zach Wilson's comments after the New England Patriots game. They lose 10-3. It was just an all-around really tough game, and that was arguably Zach's worst game as a pro. It was really, really, really horrific. And after the game, they asked him, do you think he let down the defense? He says no. I would only imagine that those comments and then watching back the film was like, we have to make some sort of switch just for morale. And that's the direction that it feels like it's going. Obviously, Zach Wilson's starting against the Kansas City Chiefs. You bring in Trevor Siemian. But if you get another just uncompetitive performance from Zach Wilson and the offense, I don't know how Robert Saleh could get up there again and say the same things over and over again. And I get it. They're putting... to be completely fair, while I don't like Robert Saleh's comments, and I think what he's saying at times is a little ridiculous, it also is a little bit unfair that he is the mouthpiece, that he's the one who has to get put up there and answer these questions, because Joe Douglas is the one who hasn't brought in anybody else outside of Trevor Siemian in this time. So it's a really tough and uncomfortable situation. And I get it. His teammates are saying all the right things, but as Boomer Esiason says, the teammates could say whatever they want in front of the cameras, and he gives them a lot of credit for what they've said in front of the cameras. But behind the scenes, he goes, you know exactly what they're talking about.
The reality of it is, the teammates are talking about it behind his back. We all know that. We all know that the Garrett Wilsons of the world and the Sauce Gardners of the world are going like, what's going on? We can't win with this guy. And, it's always important for every football team to have that guy that can stand up in front of your team. And you believe that you can win any game when you have that player at the most important position. The Jet players, regardless of what they say, and they're all trying to be professional, from Mekhi Becton to Sauce Gardner to Garrett Wilson, the body language tells me different on the sideline. After the game with the microphones in front of their face, I give them a lot of credit for trying to be as professional as they possibly can. They're not going to dump on their teammate. Behind the scenes, it's a completely different set of circumstances. It's players hanging out together last night going, we don't get a chance. We don't have a chance. We can't win. And, next week it's Kansas City.
And also, again, I totally understand that perspective. Think about it. Boomer's a former NFL MVP. He's someone who's been around in locker rooms before. He was a New York Jet. He knows how this goes. I can't possibly imagine being on that defense or being a skill position player on offense and just thinking, man, we don't have a chance. They are not competitive on offense. The defense has to absolutely be perfect. Sauce Gardner's out here talking about how they have to give up 0 points to win a game. It's just these absolutely insane things. And as much as I don't like to give him credit because I don't really care for his coverage, Cimini is 100% right with talking about how the players think if any other player played this poorly, they would be benched. He's right. The leash that Zach Wilson's got is crazy. It's wild to me, and we saw it time and time again. He was never supposed to play on the field this year. That was never supposed to be the plan. So the second Aaron Rodgers goes down, that's why you have to add someone. That's why I've been yelling and screaming for the last 3 weeks or however long it's been about they need to get another body in here. They need to get someone else in here because Zach was never supposed to play this year. And that plan goes out the window 4 plays into your season, and he's launched back in, and you're stuck in the time loop that was the 2022 NFL season. We lived this just last year. That's why Jet fans are so frustrated. It's the same story. It's a great defense, some exciting players on offense, and they don't have a quarterback who could distribute the football. Is the offensive play calling bad? Yes. Is the personnel usage bad? Also yes. But there's only so much a coordinator can do when your quarterback is just that bad. So again, we'll see what happens this week. If Zach Wilson is able to pull off some miraculous snapback performance, and at a minimum, just keep them in this game. If they win, great. Oh my God, please. If Zach Wilson goes out and throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in a duel with Patrick Mahomes and the Jets pull off a win, oh my God, that would be the best thing ever. I just don't think that's likely because of everything we've seen from him in his first 24 starts in the NFL. So it's just, I worry about this locker room. I do, and I don't blame them. I don't. Sometimes there's, guys who are just, oh, it's all about me and it's not about the team. And, they've supposedly done a good job of clearing those guys out. But how do you not get frustrated when it's the same thing over and over and over and over again? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.